Hi, Consuelo. Let's get right into your correction. Let's see what you had to say. Do you think it's better for our students to work before the university study? Why? Share reasons. Okay. So, experts throughout the developing and developed world have debated whether it is more beneficial or not to work before university studies. You don't need to capitalize university here. It's not the name of a university, so you can leave it lowercase. Personally, I believe that having at least one job before continuing further studies has. Why? Because this is your subject here. It starts with a gerund, so that whole thing is your subject and it's singular because it starts with a gerund. So it has more positives. Has more positive than negative implications for the student. Fine. This essay will discuss the advantages and disadvantages of this statement, giving examples from Harvard University without the and the British Educational Council to demonstrate and prove arguments. Okay, fine. On the one hand, there is ample evidence that suggests having a job before university has drawbacks for the student and for the society. This is largely because working between study periods could result in a lack of interest on continuing further studies. Okay. For example, recent empirical research by Harvard University without the showed that 40% of the people in London who had a job right after high school felt comfort. I think you mean comfortable. Not comfort. They felt comfortable gaining money and were not interested in studying anymore. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that spending time working before university, again, no capital, could result in a lack of professionals in the society. Thus, it is possible to state beyond doubt that these results can represent all countries. Okay, fine. On the other hand, even though employment before college could have negative implications, it also has benefits that cannot be overstated. The central reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, this gives the person the opportunity to learn soft skills, which are crucial to create a pleasant study environment at the university. I have a question about this construction here, whether it should be crucial to, crucial for, or crucial in. So that might require some research on both of our parts. But let's continue. Secondly, working helps the pupil to gain experience in life and to mature. Let's put a comma somewhere. Making him know. All right, here I want you to change the syntax a little bit. So, help the pupil to gain experience in life and to mature, making him know what career he really wants to follow. Making him know what career he really wants to follow better. Okay? Or the other thing you could have said here is, and to mature, making him better know what career he really wants to follow. You can do that as well. Take, for example, a study by the British Educational Council, which demonstrated that university students who have worked before are more likely to finish their career and to become more professionally fulfilled individuals. Consistent with this line of thinking is that gaining experience before university, no capital again, could lead to have better and happier professionals with more skills, social skills. From the arguments and examples given, I strongly believe that working time before studies has a tremendous impact on both the student's '(s) development and the society, with more positive than negative implications. Okay, so this was really quite nice. I really liked your structure. I really liked your arguments. They were very strong. It was really very cohesive. Just some little tiny grammar errors, but nothing that would really present a problem for you. So this was a well-written essay. Congratulations. Let's see now what you did. It's tiny, but let me see what I can do with this. Okay. So the data given illustrates the income in USD millions from, careful with your typing, here, agriculture, services, natural resources, heavy and light industry in three different, all right, fine. What stands out from the pie charts is that in Ben's land, the highest income was from agriculture with 45,000. 45,000 what? US million dollars? I mean, it's so tiny I can barely read it. Okay, I'm just gonna have to trust you. Followed by service, heavy industry, light industry, and natural resources with 20, 15, 10, and 3 respectively. In contrast, you know what? I do want you to say millions somewhere, even if it's just in parentheses, okay? So please do that. In contrast, in Tim's land, heavy industry was the most productive area with 75,000, while natural resources was the least productive area with only 4,000. Services and light industry were similar at 40,000. Agriculture nearly tripled. Natural resource, no, it didn't really triple. It was more than triple. okay? Or, yeah, I mean, because it's not something that is dynamic. It's not a change that happened. It's just, a statistic. I mean, you're just comparing two different figures. You can't say that it tripled. Tripled implies some sort of change, okay? So what you want to say is that agriculture was nearly 3 times natural resources with 15 over 4. Jim's land, unlike the other countries, got the biggest amount of money from services, 80,000, and the lowest income was for natural resources. Fine. Light industry doubled, not doubled, but was twice as high as agriculture. I hope you understand that when you use these verbs like tripled and doubled, it implies change, and we're not talking about change here. What you want instead is the language of comparison, okay? So you want language like light industry was twice agriculture, or the figures for light industry were twice those of agriculture. Now that's if you want to be really, really correct, that you're referring to the figures for those categories and not the categories themselves. Okay, so lastly, heavy industry income, without the S, resembled the income from the same area in Ben's land, all right? Where are you talking about? Are you talking about Jim's land still? Okay, you could have made that a little more clear. Overall, the areas where the highest earnings were varied in each country. Oh, okay. Overall, the areas from where the highest earnings were varied in each country, from farming, heavy industry, and services, whereas the lowest income was natural resources in all 3 countries. That's lovely. It's a really nice job. I mean, as you can see in both of your essays, I really just focused on some details. The structure is very good. I typically in task 1, I have to check the data to make sure that you've covered it all. It feels like you covered it all. Agriculture, farming, services, heavy. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned all of those things. So, and you made good comparisons. So usually what I need to do is I need to double check the data to make sure that you've covered everything. But I could sense just, without even looking at it, you did, and you did it really well. And I liked your comparisons. What you need to be careful with, what I said, of course, is how we talk about these static comparisons as opposed to the dynamic comparisons. So when we're not talking about change over time, it's just where it's like, this was double this, this was 3 times this, instead of this figure doubled, this figure tripled. Okay? So I hope that makes sense. So with that brings us to the end of this correction, Consuelo. Well done. I'm very happy with these. Keep writing, correct the essays, return them back to us corrected with your error correction list, and I'll be waiting for the next ones. I'm really looking forward to them. Thanks a lot.